Europe is facing its worst energy crisis in decades. Soaring energy prices and potential blackouts are a stark reality for many countries. This crisis is a complex issue with multiple contributing factors. The situation has exposed Europe's vulnerability in energy security. It has also highlighted the continent's reliance on fossil fuels. One key factor is the war in Ukraine and the resulting geopolitical tensions. Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 sent shockwaves through global energy markets. The conflict has disrupted supply chains and led to sanctions against Russia. This has had a profound impact on Europe's energy landscape, particularly for countries heavily reliant on Russian gas. Another factor is the rapid economic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. As economies reopened, demand for energy surged globally. This surge in demand collided with constrained supply, pushing energy prices upward. This global energy crunch has been exacerbated by extreme weather events. These events have disrupted energy production and distribution networks, further tightening supply. Europe is grappling with the immediate challenge of ensuring sufficient energy supplies for the coming winter. Governments are implementing short-term measures to mitigate the impact on consumers and businesses. These measures include providing financial assistance to vulnerable households and exploring ways to reduce energy consumption. However, the long-term solution lies in diversifying energy sources and accelerating the transition to renewable energy. For decades, Russia has been a dominant energy supplier to Europe. This relationship brought benefits to both sides, but it also created a strategic vulnerability for Europe. Russia provided a reliable and relatively cheap source of natural gas, which played a crucial role in powering European homes, businesses and industries. However, this dependence on Russian gas gave Moscow significant leverage over Europe. The decision to cut ties with Russian gas has had significant repercussions. Europe is now scrambling to find alternative sources of gas to meet its energy needs. This has led to increased competition for LNG imports and a scramble to secure long-term contracts. However, replacing Russian gas is a daunting task given the sheer volume of gas that Europe has relied on from Russia. The transition away from Russian gas has also exposed the limitations of existing energy infrastructure. Europe's pipeline network, largely designed to transport gas from Russia, is not easily adaptable to receive gas from other sources. This has led to bottlenecks and logistical challenges in transporting gas from alternative suppliers. Faced with a looming energy crisis, Europe is urgently seeking alternative energy sources to reduce its reliance on Russian gas. This search for alternatives has taken on a new urgency in the wake of the Ukraine conflict. European countries are now racing against time to secure their energy supplies before the next winter. One avenue being pursued is increasing imports of liquefied natural gas, or LNG, from other countries. LNG offers greater flexibility in terms of transportation and sourcing. However, LNG infrastructure is expensive to build and requires significant investment. Europe is also facing competition from other countries, particularly in Asia, for limited global LNG supplies. Another option is to ramp up production from existing gas fields within Europe. However, some of these fields are facing declining output and environmental concerns over extraction methods. Additionally, increasing domestic gas production would require significant investment and time to develop. The energy crisis has reshaped the global energy landscape, with new players emerging as key suppliers to Europe. As Europe seeks to reduce its dependence on Russian gas, it is looking to diversify its energy sources and secure supplies from a wider range of countries. The United States has emerged as a major supplier of LNG to Europe, stepping in to fill the gap left by Russia. The US has significantly increased its LNG export capacity in recent years, and European countries are eager to secure long-term contracts for American gas. This has strengthened energy ties between the US and Europe, but it has also raised concerns about price volatility and competition for supplies. Other countries are also seeking to increase their share of the European gas market. Norway, already a major gas supplier to Europe, has increased its gas exports to the continent. Algeria, Qatar, and Azerbaijan are also potential sources of gas for Europe, although each country faces its own set of challenges in terms of production capacity, infrastructure, and geopolitical considerations. Section 5. LNG, a costly lifeline for Europe. LNG has emerged as a crucial lifeline for Europe as it seeks to replace Russian gas. LNG can be transported by sea, offering greater flexibility compared to pipelines. This flexibility allows Europe to access gas from a wider range of suppliers and reduces its reliance on a single source. However, LNG comes with its own set of challenges and costs. One significant challenge is the higher cost of LNG compared to pipeline gas. LNG requires expensive infrastructure for liquefaction, transportation, and regasification. These costs are reflected in the price of LNG, making it a more expensive option for European consumers. Another challenge is the limited availability of LNG import terminals in Europe. While some countries, such as Spain and France, have well-developed LNG infrastructure, others lack sufficient capacity to handle large volumes of LNG imports. This has led to bottlenecks and higher prices for LNG in certain parts of Europe. Section 6. The renewable energy transition, a long and winding road. The energy crisis has underscored the urgency of transitioning to renewable energy sources. Europe has set ambitious targets for renewable energy deployment, aiming to achieve climate neutrality by 2050. However, the transition to a clean energy future is a complex and multifaceted challenge. One significant hurdle is the intermittency of renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power. Solar panels only generate electricity during daylight hours, while wind turbines rely on wind availability. This intermittency requires the development of energy storage solutions to ensure a stable and reliable energy supply. Another challenge is the need for massive investments in grid infrastructure. The transition to renewable energy requires a modernized and expanded electricity grid to accommodate the decentralized nature of renewable energy generation. This grid modernization will require significant investment and coordination among European countries. Section 7. Economic fallout. Consumers and businesses grapple with uncertainty. The energy crisis is having a profound impact on the European economy, with consumers and businesses facing soaring energy bills and economic uncertainty. The sharp rise in energy prices is fueling inflation, eroding purchasing power, and squeezing household budgets. Vulnerable households are particularly affected, facing difficult choices between heating their homes and putting food on the table. Businesses are also grappling with the consequences of higher energy costs. Energy-intensive industries such as manufacturing and agriculture are facing shrinking profit margins and reduced competitiveness. Some businesses have been forced to curtail production or even shut down operations due to the unsustainable cost of energy. The economic fallout from the energy crisis is exacerbating existing social and economic inequalities. Governments are facing growing pressure to provide relief to struggling households and businesses, but the fiscal space for such interventions is limited. The crisis is testing the resilience of the European economy and highlighting the need for long-term solutions to ensure energy security and affordability. Section 8. A global power shift, navigating the energy landscape. The energy crisis is reshaping global energy geopolitics, leading to a shift in power dynamics and alliances. Europe's efforts to reduce its reliance on Russian gas have created opportunities for other energy producers, such as the United States and Qatar, to expand their influence in the global energy market. The crisis has also exposed the vulnerability of countries heavily reliant on energy imports. This vulnerability has prompted many countries to rethink their energy security strategies and seek greater diversification of energy sources and suppliers. This diversification drive is leading to the formation of new energy partnerships and alliances. The energy crisis is accelerating the global transition to clean energy. As countries seek to reduce their dependence on fossil fuels, they are increasingly investing in renewable energy technologies and infrastructure. This shift towards clean energy is creating new economic opportunities and driving innovation in the energy sector. Europe's path forward requires a multifaceted approach that addresses both the immediate challenges and the long-term goal of achieving energy security and sustainability. Diversifying energy sources, accelerating the deployment of renewable energy and promoting energy efficiency are crucial steps in this direction. The crisis presents an opportunity for Europe to emerge as a leader in the global transition to a clean energy future.